The Panthers slipped their third successive defeat at the start of this season's NatWest T20 Blast season, losing this time to Gloucestershire by 5 wickets with 15 balls to spare in Bristol. Michael Klinger won the toss after a delayed start of half an hour and decided to have a bowl, and James Fuller struck with the 4th ball of the game. Paul Stirling LBW for 4 as he moved across his stumps to be hit right in front. Joe Denley was also out to Fuller in the 3rd over, having just hit a couple of boundaries. Denley went on the pull but missed time to Graham McCarter at mid-on. He was out for 9 at 19 for 2. Already David Milan held the key on a pitch which, due to consistent drizzle throughout the day, had sweated under the covers. The pitches generally at Bristol are slow ones too. The classy left-hander struck 3 fours in the 4th over, bowled by Liam Norwell. That pitch was not one to make aggressive shots easy, and Milan followed Denley in getting out to one. It was all rather frantic as Milan was caught at mid-wicket off another top-edge shot, which left the Panthers on 32 for 3 in just the 4th over. The former Middlesex man Tom Smith was on in the final over of the power play, and his former captain Neil Dexter greeted him with a sumptuous drive through the covers for 4 as the visitors just tried to bed in. But Dexter then chopped this ball from Smith back onto his stumps to leave with a score on 43 for 4 at the end of the power play. Middlesex had to wait until the 9th over to hit their first and only 6 of the innings, acting captain Dan Christian clearing the long off rope off Benny Howell. But the Panthers just couldn't get a partnership going, and Adam Rossington was the 5th man to fall before half the overs had been used up, Alex Gidman catching him at backward point on 4. So after 10 overs the total read 65 for 5, and after just 2 more runs had been added, Christian, against the side he played for last year in this competition, drove Norwell straight to Chris Dent at mid-off. So it was now left to Ollie Rayner and John Simpson to try to set their hosts a challenging total. What that would be on such a sluggish pitch, Middlesex probably didn't even know at this stage. What was clear is that scoring boundaries was not at all easy. These two added 32 in 7 overs, and Rayner was then brilliantly caught off screen by Klinger to go for 15 before the Panthers stuttered to their 100 in the penultimate over. James Harris now had to throw the bat at what deliveries remained, but he was yorked in the final over by Norwell as Middlesex could only muster 111 for 8 from their 20 overs. Simpson top scoring with 22 not out of 30 deliveries. Stephen Finn then delivered an exceptional opening over. He beat Klinger's bat on a number of occasions before he found the edge of the Australian's bat to have him caught behind off the 4th ball of the reply. Apart from a no ball when Finn hit the stumps with his knee, there were no runs off the over. Harris was not as economical, with Dent twice finding the boundary off his opening over, as Gloucestershire looked to be positive to try to get the game over as soon as possible. Gidman was soon taking the game well away from the Panthers, who alas had again underperformed with the bat, as they had in the defeat to Sussex at Lord's last weekend. But the former Gloucestershire captain then got himself out, skying this shot off Harris to Denley at backward point, a wicket which left the home side on 22 for 2 in over number 4. The problem was, however, that the Panthers simply didn't have enough runs on the board, and every time one of the Gloucestershire batsmen found the rope, it was like a knife in Middlesex's heart. At the end of the 6 overs of power play, the score read 41 for 2. The game was opened up a fraction when Dent on 24 pulled Dexter well enough, but only as far as Stirling 10 feet in from the mid-wicket boundary. Dent left with his side on 47 for 3 after 7. Christian then dropped a very catchable chance in the covers to give Ian Cobain a real life, and that left Gloucestershire on 67 for 3 at the halfway stage, with just 45 still required. As with last weekend, the bowlers performed well to give their side a chance. Cobain cut Harris to John Simpson, who held on well at backward point as he was fielding without the gloves on for a change. And when the man with the gauntlets on, Rossington, grabbed hold of this edge off Finn to remove Hamish Marshall for 24, the Panthers were in with a shout, with Gloucestershire now on 87 for 5 in the 15th over. Another 20 runs with the bat may have been enough for Middlesex, but as it was, Cameron Herring and Howell then guided their side over the winning line with plenty of time to spare. Had every chance been taken in the field, then perhaps Middlesex would have won. Rayner put down a simple enough slip catch to let Herring off. Herring then eased any nerves in the home dressing room with this shot. It was a T20 match where there simply weren't enough boundaries on a pitch which was not really the right one for this competition. The winning hit came midway through the 18th over, Howell ironically getting the last runs of the match with the pull shot, a shot which had caused so many difficulties for the batsmen earlier on in the game. Gloucestershire hadn't exactly made light work of their target, but in the end they'd done more than enough. There were 15 balls to spare when the game was ended, Gloucestershire taking the match by 5 wickets for their first win of the competition. For the Panthers, that's now 3 losses from 3, and they really now need to get moving in this tournament when they play next on Sunday at Merchant Taylor's School against Hampshire.